The initial stages of getting into turning your business really into a business versus just a fucking prison sentence is getting to know your numbers. Getting to know your numbers might be that you realize you're not profitable. But what starts happening, and here's the key, is when you start making more decisions based upon logic than emotion. That's something that as family members, it is
extremely hard to do.
It is extremely hard to do. With that being said, you have to then put more emphasis on the numbers. You have to put more emphasis on, like, if we do this, then we get this. Yeah, but I feel like this. I'm glad you feel that way, but the reality is, if you don't do it this way, you're not going to make fucking money. Until right now, this very moment, contractors have always been on their own, not as tradespeople, but being alone and knowing how to take their business to the next level. They call us working class. They call us blue collar. They say that we don't have the smarts to become the business owner that we're meant to be. That is such bullshit. You have the ability. You're more than any of that. The question really is, where do you get the insights that you need specific to contracting to systemize your business so you can get your profits to pay for your freedom? I'm Andrew Houston. I'm going to show you how to make more profits, how to get more control, how to get more freedom in the simplest, quickest way possible without any of that bullshit. Welcome to the No Bullshit Podcast for Contractors. Listen up, level up, and if you learn something, like the video, subscribe to the channel, change your business, change your life. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the No Bullshit Podcast for Contractors. We are going to kick some serious ass today. We're going to get really focused here on how two bros, you talk about brother from another mother, brothers from the same mother, are going to share with you guys how they've really transformed their business. They got two different businesses, and we're going to go into some of the principles that have helped them change their business. I think what's going to be interesting looking at this today is how the same principles apply no matter what type of contracting business you got. Okay, so let's get into this. So, Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your business, what you guys do, a little bit about that, and then I'm going to have you, Adam, do the same thing, and then we'll get rock and rolling.
All right. So, my name is Zach. We run a company called Concrete Fusion, and we do basically everything to do with concrete floors. So epoxy flooring, concrete polishing, self-leveling concrete, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome,
garage
dude.
Floors, all that.
How long have you been doing that for?
About 7 or 8 years now.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, on to you, Adam.
Like Andrew said, my name's Adam. So I run our landscaping company. It's called ANZ Interlock. We've now been in business for 15 years, and we specialize in interlock, retaining walls, armor stone, and repair work for interlock.
Love it. Beauty. Okay, so let's go. I got a bunch of questions here that we sort of prepped. Good thing you guys brought your notes. I didn't bring my notes today. I'm stealing the notes off of these guys. So, we talk about roughing it. I guess this is today's... the coach is roughing it. So, when we look at this, when you guys started, there's a lot of similarities to the problems that you had. So, what were some of the problems that you had before joining PFC?
Well, I guess one of the main things is that we never had a clear direction on where we wanted to go or how to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
We just got into it. No one's sort of teaching us anything about business, so it's very difficult to... everything is learned the hard way. Yeah,
exactly. So one of the things you were saying was a clear pathway, right? You didn't have any direction, didn't know how to get there. Yeah. Adam, similar to your business, right? Same thing, right?
Well, we started with the landscaping end of things and
right.
grew into the concrete and epoxy flooring.
Right.
And the biggest thing out of both of our companies is, there was no clear direction, but we had no idea what numbers really were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how important they really are to move forward.
Yeah. Totally, man. So
we've also gotten in trouble, with Revenue Canada and stuff like that, Because we didn't know. We didn't know what the hell we were doing.
You know, it's funny you say that. By the way, guys, you know, everybody listening in, I know I asked this question, like, what problem did you have before you joined PFC? I mention this all the time. Yes, this is a podcast. If you want to get some more help, fucking raise your hand, get some more help. But I think at the end of the day, whether or not you raise your hand to get some more help through us or somebody else, what I want everybody to understand, I'm not trying to do some fucking sales pitch. I'm trying to get you to understand, if you're a listener, number one, you're not alone. Okay? And this is a prime example, right? Like, we get into business and we just don't fucking know. Right? And then you got the government knocking on your door, you know, and then, you know, you owe this many taxes, you didn't follow these procedures, you didn't file this, you filed this wrong. You're totally and we're going to get further into this, you're totally starting off at a fucking disadvantage.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it, I know you didn't touch on this, but let's just like dig a little bit deeper on this one is, you get all these people fucking judging you too, eh? Like, I mean, I remember I did when I had the tax man coming. Man, you don't know how to run a business, or fucking, well, you know, you're avoiding paying your taxes. No, dude, I'm fucking not avoiding paying my tax. I didn't know I'd paid my taxes. Well, you didn't pay enough. Well, yeah, obviously I didn't fucking pay enough. But I mean, you don't know, right? And that's part of business, right?
We know our trade.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to run a business.
Totally. And starting with the numbers, right? I mean, back to your vision. Everybody listening in, you might be like, what the hell does vision have to do with numbers? It has everything to do with numbers. Where are you currently at as far as your profits, or where are they not at, right? How profitable do you want to be? How much you want to fucking pay yourself? That's part of a vision. That's part of a pathway.
That's a super difficult thing too. Like, even when you first start up, what do you pay yourself?
It's a great question.
You know, we have one subcontractor that works for us, and he gets his check when he's done the job, and he goes out and buys a bunch of Sea-Doos. And then he can't pay his guys at the end. You know, like,
totally, dude.
He doesn't know anything. And, you know, Adam tries to help him out with certain things. And
yeah.
It's
well, let's face it, though. Let's call a spade, right? I remember the call with you guys. And I remember specifically the call with you, Adam. I said, so, Adam, we were looking at your numbers. I said, how much did you pay yourself?
Not a lot.
Yes. And when you gave me the answer, I was like, what the fuck? Dude, I remember saying to both of you guys, if that's what you're paying yourself, 40 fucking grand, you're putting in all these hours, seriously, and I meant this, go work for somebody else. You can make almost double that, like, you know, with your skill sets, right?
Yeah.
No time at all. You don't have to worry about it, right? You don't have to worry about running the business, all this other shit, right? So, having a clear direction, it was a big struggle. Not knowing your numbers was a big struggle. Not even knowing from you know, taxes and government and you know, different regulations, you know, and it wasn't because you didn't want to. Talk a little bit about that. Like, it wasn't due to, like, you know, screw you, you know, world. I'm determined not to know my numbers.
Well, where's the money going to come from? Did we charge enough for the job that we could afford to pay it?
Yes.
But that's the problem, is that we didn't know.
Yes.
You know, we didn't do job costing.
I know. I
We
remember
would
that.
order the brick. We would say, oh, it's going to take us this many days. And then we'd be like, oh, well, we're going to make a lot of money on this. But we didn't account for the HST or the payroll taxes or WSIB or, you know, any of that other crap. You know, we didn't know.
So you go from, like, we're going to make a lot of money to, I don't even know if I'm making money.
Yeah.
To, wait a second, I'm losing money.
Not just that, our accountant we had before was shit. So we wouldn't even know until the end of the year or the following year.
Totally.
So we're just digging ourselves a bigger hole.
Okay, love it. Okay, let's my job is trying to bring a little more structure, you know, to this, because we've got so much we want to cover. So that was some of the problems. Okay, and there's a lot more. There's jobs where actually, you know, we're like you said, we're making money, we're not making money, the bickering, right? The fighting amongst you two.
Ongoing battle between us.
So we're brothers. We don't always see eye to eye. This week was a good example for us.
Right.
We egg each other on when we shouldn't.
Right.
When it should be just a simple, you know, simple conversation of certain things.
Well, here's something I want everybody to listen in on. You know you're taking your business in the right direction, okay? It's not just one thing. I'm going to give one of the main things. One of the main ways you know that you're moving your business in the right direction is not actually in the initial stages that you're profitable. People might be listening and going, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I thought your profit for contractors. Andrew, you talk about your profits pay for your freedom. Yes, it's true. But the initial stages of getting into turning your business really into a business versus just a fucking prison sentence is getting to know your numbers. Getting to know your numbers might be that you realize you're not profitable. But what starts happening, and here's the key, is when you start making more decisions based upon logic than emotion. That's something that as family members, it is like
Extremely hard to do.
It is extremely hard to do. With that being said, you have to then put more emphasis on the numbers. You have to put more emphasis on, like, if we do this, then we get this. Yeah, but I feel like this. I'm glad you feel that way, but the reality is, if you don't do it this way, you're not going to make fucking money. Does that make sense? Right? Okay. So, what did the frustration feel like when you tried to solve these problems? Like, what was it like?
Well, we had no idea where to even start. Asked ourselves, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
What are we doing? How do we do this?
Right.
And you don't know what you don't know.
So, and not only that, like individually, we're going through our own life battles.
Yes.
Why would I want to work with this cocksucker?
Right.
You know, right? But you felt the same thing. So it's a very difficult thing.
Right. Absolutely. Love it. I love it.
And then looking at things like some of the frustrations, you get into a place where
A bad place.
you think you're all alone,
Mm-hmm.
and
who do you talk to?
who
Yeah, that's right.
you can't talk to people at the government because they just want your money.
Yeah, it's true.
They're not there to help you.
Yeah, that's right.
My mom is also involved in our business too, but and oftentimes before, like, she'd be in the middle of both of us bickering about each other, and it puts her in a weird spot, and everything else is even more difficult.
Yeah, a family, when you look at a business, any business that involves the family, you're really putting the family at risk, right? The relationships of your family, right? Like your relationship as brothers, your relationship as, sons to your mom, and vice versa. I mean, whether or not we don't want to do that, but if it's hard enough even knowing these principles, right? It's like we're going to get into, okay? So anybody listening in, we're going to be getting into the tips. We're going to be getting into the tricks and the strategies, but I want to just create a baseline. I want everybody listening in to know that if you're struggling with having these questions, and right, I mean, how many years did these fucking questions go on in your head and you couldn't get the answer? How many?
Since the beginning?
Yeah, since the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, that's I think that's almost like psychological warfare to yourself. Right? Like, you're trying to answer a question and it happens like almost daily, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then weekly, and then monthly, and then years. Eventually it beats you fucking down, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so, you're overwhelmed. Focus, a lack of focus, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like,
Just, you lose confidence in what you're doing and why you're doing this.
mm-hmm.
So you're thinking about other stuff, you're not, and then you kind of put aside your business, and it's like, I don't care, why would I want to do that now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then as well, if you look at the balance of where you put your time, it's like, okay, man, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put on the belt. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do the work, and if I do more and more and more and work harder and harder and harder, it's gotta fucking fix the problem. But does it?
No.
What actually starts happening?
You start losing.
Yes.
Everything slowly deteriorates.
Yeah. Everybody listening in, what ends up happening is, if you're doing more of the wrong thing, then you get more wrong, right? I know it's not great English, but it's the reality, right? Like, if you can have all the right intention, listen in on this, right? You can have all the right intention of providing your family, of having a good relationship with your brother, having a good relationship with your mom. You have all the fucking intentions in the world. But if invisibly you're doing things wrong, then that intention does not mask the symptoms of doing it wrong. Guys quitting, guys not showing up on time, arguments, fights, stress, fucking, did we go over? Did we not go over? Like, it just generates more fucking questions of like, why? Why am I not making money? Why am I doing this? Why? Is it true?
Yep.
Okay, so now you guys engaged with Profit Contractors. What was it that, and listen, everybody listening in, I really do mean this when I say just get help, okay? If it's through us, then get help through us. But what's about, I think what they're about to, disclose to you is really, really important as to what was it about Profit Contractors that was different?
One of the first things, because Zach and I, had a conversation about this earlier this week, is that it was specific. It was trade specific. Mm-hmm. So not that it was specific to our trades necessarily, but it was specific to construction trades. And a couple of the other coaches that we've been approached by, they were just business coaches.
Right.
In the vague sense of it.
And they dealt with any type of business.
Right.
So, like for a while before we joined PFC, though, we were thinking about some sort of coach.
Sure.
And I'm glad that we went this route because obviously everything's working out a lot better for us.
Yeah, well, understand, guys, like, I'm not bashing the other coaching companies out there. If you're a coaching company and you're out there and you're helping people, freaking awesome. At a certain point, though, there's going to come a level of engagement where if you do not know the trade, okay, whether you're coaching chiropractors, fucking doctors, tradespeople, if you don't know that specific field, you are not going to be able to help these people at the level that they need to be helped. Mm-hmm. Okay? If I go job costing and the guy's teaching fucking doctors, he's not going to have a clue. Well, I'm saying you're reading a blueprint, okay, doing a takeoff. What? Because each of those things affects the business. And if somebody that is not specific to that field, being trades in this case, they're not going to be able to ask the fucking right questions. How do you do a takeoff? How could they ask that question if they don't even know that exists? True?
Yeah.
Right, and they don't get it, right? Okay? Even the language.
Speak trade talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Well, when we say the language, right, it doesn't mean, yeah, it's like curse and swear and what have you, but like look at...
You're on the same level. You're not talking about, some crazy thing that, I don't know, as an example, like...
No, totally. I could explain, here's the thing, guys. You guys know what I know, right? If I want to go in a crowd and somebody wants to do the geek thing, I could geek it out. I could make somebody look pretty fucking stupid if I want, talking about financials. But why would I do that? We're going to talk the language of like, hey man, here's how much money you pay. Here's your expenses. Versus like, here's this. Here's your gross profit. Here's your net profit. Here's the fucking incurred expenses. Here's what? Versus like, guys, here's how this is going to work, right? Why not talk the language to people that that enables them versus disables them? That's my freaking opinion, right? Makes sense to me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about when you realized that the coaching was actually helping you. One of the things was you did one of the first things we did was a financial analysis with me. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that was tough. We didn't have our numbers. Or the proper numbers.
Yeah.
We had issues with our bookkeeping and accounting.
Why was it tough though?
Because our numbers weren't accurate.
Yeah. What else made it tough?
Realizing that
we either weren't making money or didn't know.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So I'm going to give you my flip side of it. I could be wrong, and I mean this authentically. I could be wrong. When I look in the eyes of good people like yourselves, there's a moment of embarrassment. There's a moment of like, man, I feel fucking stupid. Man, why do I not know this? Man, it's this bad. Like, there's a moment. No matter how politically nice I'm trying to be, I'm not saying, hey, you're a fucking idiot. But there comes a point where you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, we do not, like, I knew we needed to know this stuff, but now I'm realizing, like, how much we don't know.
I think embarrassment is part of what you would feel. I mean, there's disappointment, there's defeat.
Yes.
You know, a ton of different feelings come when you go through all that.
Like, this isn't for everyone.
I totally agree with you.
You have to have the
balls to go through
resiliency,
the hardship, and the good times.
Yes.
Not just the good times.
Yeah.
You know, think of right now, even all these restaurants that are still open. I mean, they're going through a rough time right now.
Brutal time.
And if they can make it through it, then they're going to be on top.
Literally, they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just survive. Just make it. Just hang on another day, right? Hoping it's going to turn around.
Yeah.
So, you know, coming back to that analysis, right? I think one of the things that just everybody listening in, I want to give you guys let's get into some of the tips and stuff, and we'll keep going through, you know, what we plan, what you guys actually laid out. This is awesome. Is you need to understand, guys, that the reason that this company is called Profit for Contractors. Well, instead of me giving my 2 cents, why do I always preach profit? Why is it profit for contractors versus sales for contractors, marketing for contractors, better business for contractors? No, it's profit for contractors. Why is that? Why is that such a...
Well, you can make all the money in the world you want in terms of revenue, but unless you're profitable, then you're working for nothing.
That's it. And then if you got nothing, how can you fucking build anything? Guys, right?
Yeah.
Adam, when you said that?
That's exactly right. Like,
No. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, you came in today, and you guys are like, man, we got our numbers. You're like, hey, we're profitable, right? Like, we go back a year, and that was not the response, right? And here's you on the personal side, right? Like, just both guys, obviously, on the personal side. But let's just talk about having a kid, right? You had a kid, right?
So I have a 3-year-old,
right,
and I'm expecting another one in less than 3 weeks.
Yeah, your wife is, yeah. But anyways, that's good.
And our landscape, yeah, my wife. Our landscape season will be finishing this year a little bit later than normal,
right,
which is great for us on the profit side of things because it's all gravy now.
That's right.
But if I didn't have the right people in place, how was I going to manage not being able to be on site for the rest of the season now?
Totally. And I want to talk about that a little bit more. But on the profit side, dude, so you got to pay, right?
So we have about the same overhead as last year.
Right.
We did about 650, 700 last year.
Yeah.
And we just got our numbers in. I think we have 933,000 this year.
Awesome, dude.
Same overhead, and more money in our pocket.
Right, way more freaking money in the pocket.
We've been working our asses off.
Exactly, right? But profitably. You worked your ass off before, right? Part of being a business owner, let's face it, okay? Everybody listening in. Don't we all work our asses off? Like, that's what we do. Like, we play hard, we work hard, we work fucking really hard, okay? And I think it's awesome that you, to a certain degree, that we work our asses off. That's something that I take pride in, okay? I get up early, 4 o'clock in the morning. Do I have to? No. Do I? Yes. Why? That's just part of the DNA, okay? But what's worse, that's not I'm saying that's worse, but what would be bad about that is all those hours, all those jobs you fucking did, and you didn't make any money.
Yeah.
Your guys actually made more money than you. Is it true?
That's a terrible feeling.
But that was happening in some jobs.
Yeah.
Because if you lost money on a job, they still got paid.
Yeah.
So you made less money than your own employees. Right? So guys, if you're listening in and it feels like, holy shit, my employees are making more than me. Guys, is there something wrong? Big time, right? Big time. Okay, so let's talk about, making better strategic decisions for future purchases and growth. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in the past, we never really planned for future purchases.
Setting budgets and stuff like that.
Setting budgets and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, because we're in a better position, we're able to get BDC loans and stuff like that. And obviously, like, that stuff helps. And we're also more profitable. So now we can plan for those things. So we came across a good deal and we bought a bunch of new equipment.
Beautiful.
That is going to set us up really good for next year.
Cool. What do you guys say that, Adam?
So this, like all of this stuff we're talking about, is an ongoing work in progress.
Yes.
We could say we have our shit together today.
Well, we don't have everything together.
No, you don't, of course.
But we're in a much better position.
Well, that's it. The guy, by the way, isn't this a journey?
Yes.
Right? There's 5 levels of the contractor's ladder of success, isn't there?
Yeah.
Remember when we first started, I said, yeah, just to get you out of survival, that's going to take a year. Like, what? Yeah. Well, you're out of survival. Now, next year is getting into stability. People listening in, what do you mean it's going to take more than a year? Yes! What do you mean? Yes. Yes! Is there a lot of shit to run in a business?
Yeah.
Well, how long have we joined up?
Oh, I think it's now 2 years. So
it's going to be more than that.
That's about 2.5 years, I'd say. Yeah. So the first year was getting you out of startup.
Yeah.
Right? That was putting systems in place. Making sure you knew what the roles were of the guys. Making sure the jobs get done properly. Making sure the fucking basics of doing the trade is working. True?
Yeah.
Right. Next year, right, was survival. By the way, everybody listening in, this is the contractor's ladder of success, son of a bitch, right? Startup, survival, stability, right? Next one is scale. Next one is sell if you want, because the business is running out, beyond you, right? There's fucking 5 levels. First year, they got out of startup. And people are like, I've been in business for 20 years. Startup does not have anything to do with how fucking long you've been in business. Startup means you need to get the basic things in place that you should have started up with.
Yeah.
Like making sure that if you say to a customer, you're going to get this job done, it's going to be like this. That's how it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Next is survival, which is getting more business. You got more business, right? Being able to handle that more business. And be able to put management in place so that you can have other people doing it without it always being you. Is that what you just described earlier? Son of a bitch. Next one is about, when we got stability. Now, what's stability? Stability is now that you got these 2 major levels of foundation and it's starting to solidify, it's not perfect. It allows us to get the stability so that that means we get consistent profits. We get consistent sales. We can consistently put our head on the pillow and go, fuck the roller coaster. I know what's coming. I can plan ahead. And is that starting to happen now?
Yeah.
All right, because we can now make purchases ahead of time and go, hey man.
We just bought a triaxle.
Right.
We never thought we would ever have one.
Right, and why is that important for your business? What's that going to allow you to do?
It increases efficiency and, at the end of the day, profit.
Yes. Because now you can look at this expense and go, that's going to give this much efficiency, which is going to generate this much profit. By this point in the year, next year, this fucking thing will be paid for, and then we can benefit from it for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Guys, listening in, if you don't have this shit in place, you can't make those decisions. True?
Yeah.
Or you make them, and then what happens?
You go in the hole.
And sometimes never what?
Never come up.
Never come up.
It has to be a planned move in the end. Because before it was all reactive. Truck died. Oh, we need to buy another truck now. How are we going to get the money for that? I don't know. Let's buy another used truck.
Totally. You know what's interesting? Before I come back to this is, I'm sitting here, and if you guys are watching this via video, I was watching Zach's face when he said a triaxle. Adam, did you see how excited he got? Yeah. Before, when Adam would talk about, or when Zach would talk about a vehicle, he'd be fucking pissed because it was always a vehicle that was getting repaired. It was a reactionary discussion around a vehicle. True? Now it's like, we're talking about vehicles and you're fucking pumped because you know that it's going to generate something positive. True?
Yeah.
Like aren't those fun decisions? Is it honestly? I find it. I don't know. What do you?
Yeah. We love
It's
buying.
another big toy.
Yeah,
Yes.
We love buying.
That you get to make money with,
tools and equipment.
right? You pulled up with a new truck, right? Right, like guys. And by the way, anybody listening in, that's one of the biggest things that I like that at Prof for Contractors that you need to realize. You need to put the brakes on your frickin' spending until you got to get control of knowing that you're profitable with what you have before you keep adding more shit to the pile. True?
Yeah. Well, that's just one little thing too, right? I mean, we got like 4 vehicles out of that purchase, but out of the 15 years in business, we finally have 2 brand new trucks, outside.
How's that feel?
Amazing.
With all the labels on it.
Yeah.
Like a walking billboard. Yeah,
It took 15 years.
Dude, this is fucking amazing, right? I feel like grabbing the goddamn phone and just running out and taking a look at the damn thing. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the podcast. What do you think, Jordan? Maybe we'll do that. Okay, so, no, I'm serious, man. You should be proud of it. I'm fucking proud of you guys, okay? All right, so let's keep rock and rolling. So, you have more money, right? It doesn't mean you're fucking millionaires yet, but you're on this journey.
Yeah.
And you know it's not a quick fucking win thing, right? Okay, so some of your top wins, right? We got both companies are growing profitably. True?
Yeah.
Now, I know you said that you started up the other one, but they are in essence like 2 separate businesses.
Yes.
Right. Have any of the principles that you've learned from knowing your pricing, your break even, reading your numbers, defaulting your calendar, again, we'll get into some of these other things.
They're the same.
They're the same.
And we get practice with one, get the other one better, and then we look back at the other one. Oh, we mixed up on this, and we can now fix it.
That's awesome. That's one thing about the Prof for Contractors family. Maybe you guys can tap into this just a bit while we're on it. Is that you got a whole bunch of other people, right? Look at McGrath. You built personal relationships with some of these people.
We've
True.
broken bread.
Hey McGrath, if you're listening in, we've broken bread, and one of the pieces is liquid, and it has the letter R in it. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, this is definitely not the politically correct fucking podcast. But anyways, so yeah, talk about that. Like, let's talk about that. Like, breaking bread. Like, actually, how much value do you get from other people? Like, talk about McGrath and some of the insights that these other members have given you beyond the teachings.
So, we also have a business relationship with Peter.
Yeah.
Specifically, we
do
rent
now.
some land out from him.
Yeah.
That saved us a lot of money in that I don't have to drive an
Travel.
extra half an hour of travels for 3-4 vehicles.
Right.
So there's that business end of things, and we shoot the shit. We talk about business.
Yeah.
We talk about what works, what doesn't work.
We asked for advice. So,
Right. So is it true when I talk about, people hear me on the podcast saying, guys, screw this learning it the hard way, leapfrog decades the days. What does that mean when I say that? Like, and because you guys have experienced it, like taking an idea, and when I go, you can take somebody else's solution and you can literally leapfrog a decade of fucking how long, of you taking 10 years to figure it out. Like, explain.
Well, that's the thing. They took 10 years to figure it out. And all it is, a conversation about things, and you can implement it right away.
Totally, dude. Totally. Give any. Is there anyone that comes to mind? Like Peter gave you insights on?
Trello.
Yes.
Yeah, Trello big time.
Yes.
He's like Trello whiz.
Yes, he is.
He
is.
had in the past we've had different.
What is Trello? Everybody's listening. What the hell is Trello? By the way, Trello. It's a free software. No, it's not, Andrew. It's not free. Well, it's fucking free.
At a certain point.
Yes. Okay, but for how far you can take your business to the free level?
Yeah.
Come on, right? By the time you have to pay for it, you've made
Yeah.
1000x. True?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
it's a good way to organize things.
it organizes things. Tell them about what you use this for. Like you don't have to get into the software side of it, but how important is it to have systems, checklists, fucking shit like that you had all in your head?
Okay, so one thing is we have all of our equipment on there.
Yeah. Why?
For maintenance and stuff like that.
Perfect.
We got that idea from
That's
Peter.
Peter. Yeah, that's McGrath.
Because it's in one spot.
On your phone right now,
Yeah.
you have, by the way, guys, go on their phone right now for free. Okay? And I don't care if you have Android, I don't give a shit what kind of phone you have, okay? I don't care if your phone is a piece of stone, like the fucking 10 Commandments, okay? This thing will probably work on it. And these guys are able to, and McGrath handed this to them, okay? Had a coaching session with me. I laid out sort of the framework. He took it to the next level. He goes, shares it with these guys, and now they're able to track the maintenance on the vehicles. They know what's been done on what vehicle, when it was done, all those little details that are now there for their vehicle. True?
Yeah.
And we could go to a parts store for any vehicle we want, and the serial numbers on there, what kind of vehicle or piece of equipment it is.
It's at your disposal.
We don't
anytime you
even
want.
have to do it.
Yeah.
We can get somebody that works with us to do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we can focus
Huge.
on working on the business.
Love it.
So that's one thing. We also have our whole sales process on there. You have something with your side of things, and I have something on my side of things.
Yeah.
They're slightly different.
Yeah.
In terms of
Why is the sales process, Zach, so important? Some guys are like, yeah, man, I don't need a fucking sales process. I'm a good salesperson.
so the same thing happens with every sale, exactly, and you're not forgetting everything.
So that what happens?
Well, I mean, your chances of getting a sale are a lot higher.
Yeah. Why? Because what
All
happens?
your documents are there that you.
Because if you miss a step, what happens? Does your success go down?
Yeah.
Steps equal success. Is it true?
Yeah.
You do 5 out of the 10 steps, what's going to happen? Probably not going to get set. True?
Yeah.
How easy is it to improve something that's been laid out like that versus something that's in your head?
You can customize anything you want. Super easy.
Totally. You cannot improve anything that you can't test and measure. And unless you have something systemized with steps in it, you will never be able to test it because it's all in your fucking head. True?
Yeah.
So every time you do it, whether it's subtle or whether it's big, it's different. So how can you get consistency? You can't. And when you go to train another salesperson or even a technician doing a job, because that should be, you guys got that, your guys are systemizing that as well, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, Adam.
Yeah.
You said now your guys can you're going to have a baby and the business can run without you. How important are systems for that?
You need them.
We need them. I mean, we have certain guys on our site that have helped create those systems, and those systems have been passed down to the other guys. So they just know what to do.
And if they forget something, well, look at Trello. There it is.
Totally, man. So there's no excuses.
Yeah.
Guys, write this down if you're listening. Systemize the routine, humanize the exceptions. Okay? When you can do that, right? My little formula, systems times people equals results. The minute that you know that a system works and there's a problem, it's not the system, it's the person. The problem is in business, until you can identify, is it a system problem or a person problem, can you ever solve it? You can't. You can't fucking solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how many times have you guys gone to your guys, giving them shit, when after you look back at it and you're like, I was expecting this guy to have in his head 58 fucking steps. Now that I've got this thing laid out, no wonder he was screwing up. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah. Many times.
Right. So doesn't it change the way that you think?
Yeah, it's not their fault.
Right, but before it was.
Yeah. Well, in the
Because
end,
we didn't know.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know. Okay? Because you didn't know. So if somebody's listening in and they're like, I can't get my guys, I can't find anybody good. Oh, I remember those conversations. Andrew's nobody good out there. Oh, really? Well, let's start with the owner, right? So what would you say to them?
To the owner?
Yeah, so you got somebody listening in here and they're like, your systems, are they really that important, guys? Like, come on.
Well,
I think it's more the guys that's the problem.
I mean, it is difficult to find good guys, but they're out there. And,
Right.
and you can easily find them. But you have to make sure that you have proper systems in place and to make sure that you're setting them up for success.
Well said, dude. Well said. Here's my thoughts on it. It's hard enough to find good people, and we've got a whole system for finding people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, a hiring process. So isn't it even that much more important in the world of trades that you put systems in place that when you find the good people, you set them up for success? True?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.